What up, Dokkanners? Now that we are 3 days away from the start of part 2 of the 7-year anniversary, it is finally time to do that stone count once again. You guys have been wanting it, so here it is. We are going to be calculating and approximating how many stones you can earn during part 2 of the 7-year anniversary. Now, before we jump in, I do want to mention once again, folks, this is an approximation because there is no way that we can accurately 100% guarantee how many stones will be dropping, because there can be some variations and there are some notable differences between Global's current situation and JP. So before we get started, let me show you a couple of these things that we have to take note of. Number one, the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour missions obviously doesn't apply to us now because this was a thing of the past. This is not happening now. So this 198 Dragon Stone count is already incorrect. Also, on top of that, there are a couple of these stone counts that they're listing here that are actually just not correct based on the calculations that we have currently on part 1 and the listed missions that they have in the Dokkan Wiki. And this isn't the first time. So not to throw shots at anybody, but I just want to say that in the past, there have been some slight miscalculations in terms of how many stones. Most recent example, I made a video discussing how we can earn 45 Dragon Stones during the Ultimate Clash that is happening during 7-year. In fact, you could only earn 32, which is no one's fault, just a small little error, but that's 3 stones difference. So because of that, this is not going to be a precise 1-for-1 total. There are going to be some differences, but the main thing, folks, is when it comes to these stone count videos, I like to undersell how many stones you're going to be earning. That way, you will always be pleasantly surprised when you earn a little bit more. It's like, assume the worst, but let the best happen is kind of my approach. So to that end, let's jump in and do some calculating ourselves with all of these events. Now, I've got a little calculation thing going on here. Oops, wasn't supposed to show that. These are all at level 1 because I wanted to make sure that these numbers all lined up. It's a little OCD thing of mine. At least they're close. Before, what ends up happening is like I have a 1 here, and then all the way down here, the 1 is like all the way to the right. It's very annoying. So yeah, that's the list right here. So let's just jump in and start from the top. I'm going to skip the co-op campaign stuff for now. We're going to start with the story event. So the Goku Chi-Chi story event. So as you guys know, stages 1, 2, and 3 are currently available. So with 4, 5, and 6 coming out during part 2, that's going to mean 6 Dragon Stones because 2 for each stage. Then we're going to be earning 1 stone for completing all missions on normal, and another stone for completing 1 stage once with the Dokkan Awakened Duo unit. So that's going to be 8 Dragon Stones. So we're going to list that right here. 8 Dragon Stones. And you can already see that that is incorrect based on the comparison here, because here it shows for Faded Encounter. No, this one. All Fired Up Marriage Showdown Grand Finale. It shows 6. That's not right. It's 8. So things are going to be a little bit off. So now let's move on into the Vegeta Bulma event. For this one, same exact thing, 4, 5, and 6, which means 6 stones. We're also going to be earning another one for completing all missions on normal and on Z Hard. It's interesting how in this one, there is no mission for completing the duo, like completing 1 stage with the duo unit. For this one, we have it, but for this one, we don't. So this could be a possible second place of error or variation, but we're just going to leave it as is. So that's going to be another 8 Dragon Stones. So that's 8 right there. So now our running total is at 16. Moving on to the Hybrids LR story event. For this one, same exact thing. 4, 5, and 6 are being given to us. So that's 6 stones. And now, clear any stage with at least 1 Hybrid Saiyan character on the team. This has already been done in part 1. This is incorrect. This is supposed to be Hybrid Saiyan. Instead, it is listed as Bond of Master and Disciple. That is just wrong. Level up a super attack of a unit to level 10. That was already in part 1, so we're not counting that. Dokkan Awaken the SSR into the TUR. That is also from part 1. We are not going to count that as well. The only ones that are left are this one, Dokkan Awaken the TUR into the LR form, and get the LR super attack level to 20, which means 1 + 2, 3 Dragon Stones on top of the 6. We are going to be getting 9 Dragon Stones. So that's going to be number 9 right there, putting our total at 25 so far. And as you can see, 8, 8, 9, that simply does not line up with how it is listed here. We've got 6, we've got 10, we've got 10. Doesn't work. So yeah, a little bit of error there. Moving on now to the Goku EZA event. The Destined Rivals number 4, Goku and God Vegeta. Both are going to be dropping at the same time in one event. So 30 stages, which obviously means 30 Dragon Stones. And then on top of that, we're going to have 3 extra missions here. 5 steps, 3 steps, 7 steps awakening. That gives us 33 Dragon Stones. Listed here, it shows only 30. So another point of variation. But we're going to put the 33 right there, bringing our total now to 58. The simple math is very nice for me. I like it. Moving on to the next EZA. This one's very interesting because for this one, it's actually not going to be a straight up 30 stone event. It's actually going to be amping up a little bit more. I don't know why, but it is. So apparently from stages 1 all the way till 20, you're going to be earning 1 Dragonstone per run, but then after that, it goes up to 2. I don't know why exactly this is happening. Maybe JP players could elaborate as far as why this is in fact a thing, but whatever. I'm not gonna question it. So we're getting 2 stones from 21 all the way to 30. So how we count this is standard 30 stones, and then we just count these again. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So 40 Dragonstones plus 1, 2, 3. 43 Dragonstones. Let's list that here. Once again, the JP count is not correct. It shows only 40. So that gives us a total of 101. Okay, so we're at 101 so far. Okay. We'll once again do one more calculation to make sure that I'm not stupid. Okay, so don't worry. Now we're going to do the NFL Red Zone. For this one, during part 2, only 2 more stages are being included. Level 3 and level 4 for both versions, which means 1 Dragonstone for completing each stage. So that's 2 stones. And then if we look at the missions, you get 5 more for completing the actual stage. So 5 and 5, that's 12 Dragonstones. 12 Dragonstones applies to both the GT and for the Movie Boss 1. This is actually one where we can both agree. Both can agree right there. Movie Boss and GT edition. See that? 12, 12. So finally, we have something that we can agree on. So with 24 more being added, that puts our total at 125. Okay. Moving on here, we've got the Legendary Goku and Legendary Vegeta event. For this one, we are getting 2 more category missions. We are getting GT Heroes and GT Bosses for the Goku one. And for the Vegeta one, we are getting Super Saiyan 2 and Majin Power. So 5 plus 5 is 10. We are getting 2 installments of 10 Dragonstones. And this is another one that we can both agree on. JP also has that as such. The Legendary Goku Vegeta right there, 10, 10. So we are in agreement, which means 24 more Dragonstones. We are getting 145 Dragonstones so far. Now, we've got special missions. Special missions, according to the Dokkan Wiki, says 3. So I took the time to actually do the due diligence, and I looked at DokkanInfo.com, and I've got the actual exact count here. So looking at part 2, this is 7th anniversary part 2 on the JP side. Looking at all the part 2 missions, let's see if we can find some stones as rewards. We can scroll down here. Here's our first one. So that's 1. Here's our second one. That gives us 2 Dragonstones. Moving down here, we see our third one. So that's 3 Dragonstones. And unfortunately, there's actually a little bit more. There's actually 2 more. So we're going to be earning 5 Dragonstones as opposed to the 3 listed here. Again, another point of variation. So we're going to count those 5. So that puts our total count at 50 so far, 150 Dragonstones. Now looking at the co-op campaign. So the co-op campaign, this one is a very simple count situation. Clear an event 10 times, 1. Then we got 2, 3, or 4. So now we're at 4 Dragonstones. And then moving on down here, we've got 5, we've got 6, 7, we've got 8, 9, and 10. 10 total Dragonstones will be given to all people who participate in the co-op campaign, which means 10 more Dragonstones. Add the 10, and we are at 160. We can agree on that because the Dokkan Wiki also has the co-op campaign at 10 Dragonstones. Moving on now, we've got the Golden Weekend. For the Golden Weekend, I checked out DokkanInfo.com and I just checked previous missions because they're all exactly the same. All Golden Weekends are exactly the same. We look at this one. This was back in, what is that? March? No, June, May. This is back in May 28th for Global. This was May 21st, right? May 28th, May 14th. Another one, May 7th. So they're all exactly the same. So you're going to be earning 7 extra Dragonstones for the weekend. So we're going to count those 7 right here. And that is also something that we can agree on with the actual Dokkan Wiki. So 7 Dragonstones there. So that brings our total to 167 Dragonstones. Now the SNS campaign, if you guys are wondering what that is, the SNS campaign was basically this. I posted about it on the community page where basically they would make you go over to Twitter or Line and share something advertising Dokkan. And I showed you guys on that community post, you don't actually have to do that. So definitely go check out my community post. I do post some things once in a while, some polls, some just random factoids, things that you can do to, further Dokkan responsibly. I did talk about this. So if you guys are confused on how to do this without actually having to post anything on Twitter or online, check my YouTube community post. But anyway, here, what it says here is that you're going to be able to earn up to 9 Dragonstones. Basically, they give you 3 Dragonstones per section at the start of it, basically. During each event period, make a post on social media with the special campaign button on the right side and get 3 Dragonstones. So you don't actually have to do that again, but you will get 3 Dragonstones upon the start of the SNS. So that counts as 3 more. Again, the Dokkan Wiki agrees. So we're going to count that. So right here, that puts us at 3. That brings our total to 170. And lastly, the daily login. So this is something that I often miss, and I will admit I unfortunately miss this every single time. So I'm really hoping that I'm on top of it this time. But we can simply just look at how long this part 2 lasts. Part 2 goes from the 10th of February on JP, and it went on until part 3's start, which was 2/22. That is 12 days apart, which means 12 Dragonstones. So let's just count that. 12 Dragonstones on daily login. That puts our running total at 182. Now, that is obviously not the same as 198. The big difference here is this. We are missing 24 Dragonstones here. So that is going to obviously change the number. If we were to add 24, that would put our total at 206. So there is going to be some possible differences here in the calculations. Hopefully this gives you an idea though of how many stones you have to gain this. You know, if you don't want to count all of this and you want to, you know, round it down a little bit, maybe say 175. We could say 175 or 170. But once again, let's do one final calculation. So we got 8, 8, and 9. So let me do that real quick. 8 plus 8 plus 9 plus 33, 43, 12, 12. 33 plus 43 plus 12 plus 12. And then we've got 10, 10, 5, 10. So that's 30 plus 5. And lastly, we've got 7, 10, and 12. So that's 22 more. So plus 22 equals 182. You see, folks, I'm not always stupid, just most of the time. So there you have it, folks. 182 Dragonstones. You want to round it down, make it 175. That's approximately how many stones you can be earning during part 2 of the 7-year anniversary. Of course, with the part 2 comes a new LR banner with the Goku and Vegeta. We'll talk about this banner in more detail in a following video. But with that, folks, are you going to have enough stones to either jump back into part 1 or perhaps dive into part 2? That's going to be it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments, with 182 stones or 175, whatever number you want to count, what does that bring your total to? And are you going to be using those stones for part 1, part 2, or are you going to be saving for the worldwide download celebration or anything beyond the global 7-year anniversary? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.